All right, we are now joined by the 2021 women's volleyball team, members of the women's volleyball team, Gwen Hangey, Kayla Thornton, Kylie Brua, and Ashley Smith. How are you doing this evening?
Amazing.
Doing good.
Very good.
So you had an incredible season. You wrapped up the season going on a tear, of course, winning ECAC championships. How did that feel? Because I know ECAC championships were something that, the team was not sure was even going to happen.
I mean, after ending our season with NJAX and everything not going our way, I feel like going into ECACs was like almost a new beginning because we thought our season was over. So it was really good for us to get back on and like just to play more because we always want to play more. We never really want to stop. So it was good for us to get back on our feet again and win that whole entire tournament.
Another thing to note, you guys had such a comeback story. You started 5-9, and then in the month of October, you won 10 of 12, going on a 9-game win streak. If you want to speak on the mentality going like off of that 4-game losing streak into the winning streak.
That definitely was a hard time on our team. Nobody likes losing, and we all love winning. So we all kind of got together in the locker room, had a little sit down, and we're like, okay, this is what needs to change, and this is what we're going to do because we are great and we are very good, and this is what we need to do to be very good. So we kind of just had a little sit down, team gathering, and changed our mentality, got back out there, worked so hard on that court and on and off both courts, and then got out there and we started playing our game.
And, part of that game was between Kayla and Ashley. Both of you went on incredible, just hitting percentage wise, incredible runs, especially Kayla, because you were named Division III All-American. What was that honor like when you were named All-American?
I was amazed. That's not something I expected to ever get. I never really paid attention to my stats. So when coach told me, I was like, oh, wow, like April Fools, that's funny. And then he was like, no, I'm serious. And I was like, oh, cool. But yeah, I never expected to ever win anything like that. So that was a really cool experience.
Another thing is how young this team is. Ashley, you're only a sophomore, basically a COVID freshman, as some people call. And, the freshmen on your team, of course, Ann and Taylor both showed out, had very, very impressive rookie seasons. But Ashley, I think you have a very bright future ahead of you. You were an offensive powerhouse this season. What is your opinion on the future of this team?
I'm really excited. We have everyone returning. So obviously this year didn't go quite how we wanted it to, but I think it's going to be such a motivation for us because we kind of got a taste of like how good we can be and what we can do. And with everyone returning and then even more recruits coming in, I think I'm really excited for this next season. I think it's going to be really good to see how much we grow and how much we can build, having a little more experience and having our freshmen and younger players even step up too.
And, I'm looking at the stats right here. Between Gwen and Kylie, both of you had over 1,000 assists combined. Gwen, you had about 181 total assists along with 24 and a half points. When you did come in and play, what was your mentality?
It was always for my team, like to play for my team and not for myself. It was like what went through my head was when I get on the court, I just have to be better for them in order to win. And yeah, I mean, that's what kind of went through when I got subbed in or when I was starting when Kylie was hurt. That's pretty much my mentality. Yeah.
And another thing that, the broadcast team always noted whenever we were looking at the rosters is how far you guys came from to play for Kean. I mean, we're obviously super fortunate to have you, but Ashley and Kylie, you guys are both from Illinois. So how did you guys find out about Kean and what made you decide to come here?
Don, our head coach, actually found me at a Florida tournament when I was 18 and came up to me, asked me if I wanted to come out for a visit. I said, sure. Met the girls and I was like, yep, this is going to be my my home for the next 4 years. And then Ashley's my best friend from home. So I sent her a quick text and I said, hey, you want to go to college with me? And the rest is history.
So Ashley, what's your side of that story?
Well, I remember going over to their house like the day, I think, after she committed, and her mom was like, you have to email them. Like, what's the harm? You have to email. And I was like, sure, you're right, I'll email them. And Dawn, I sent like some film over, and then Dawn was like, yeah, you got to come visit. And then here I am.
See, the season in general, as a whole, it was like Jish mentioned earlier. You started 5-9, and you went on a run. You shut out 7 of your 9 opponents, and it was absolutely dominant, and there were a couple times there, especially against Rowan. I see the reactions. But what did it mean having faced Rowan a week prior and then going into your matchup in the second round of the playoffs?
I thought it was motivating. We got in that first match we played against Rowan. We worked so hard. Everybody put everything out on that court. You couldn't look around that gym and be like, you didn't put your best effort forward. So it was so encouraging to see that, wow, we could beat Rowan. This is their 1 seed, and this is what it's going to take to beat them in playoffs. So going into playoffs, we knew what mentality we had to have, what kind of energy we had to bring to the court, and just what kind of team camaraderie we had to have just to play our absolute hardest.
Another team that you're very familiar with was Rutgers Camden, and they, for whatever reason, just could not stop you. Literally could not stop you. Ashley had an amazing first game against Rutgers Camden. I'm curious to see, what goes into setting up for a game against a team that you're very familiar with.
I think it goes, you know each other so well, so you know each other's tendencies. It's kind of, it's difficult. It's like, it's more motivating because you play them all the time. Like, you can win, you want to beat them, but it's like you get to know them so well, so you can kind of adjust your defense the right way. Like, you can cut line if you know that this girl only swings one way, which serve is kind of being more aggressive. Like, it has its, sometimes it can get in your head, but it has its ups and downs.
Also, to add on to that, if you play them once and you win, and you know that you're going to play them like 2-3 more times, like, you're going to want to win again. You're not going to want to sit back and be like, oh, well, we won once, that's good enough. No, like, we go in and we, like, the second time we played them, we were like, all right, let's beat them in 3 instead, or something like that. Like, we had like a better goal the next time we played them. And then in ECACs, we had like another goal to like keep them under like a certain score or something. But yeah, I mean, it's just more exciting when you play them 2 or 3 times, because not only do you know what they're going to do essentially, but you want to beat them again and again and again.
They could not stop anything that you were able to do. Specifically, one of your teammates, Ann Beckmeyer, she had an incredible rookie season. And I believe in that second game, it really looked like they game planned for her. What can you say about the growth that you saw from Ann? And not only Ann, but Taylor was another really impressive player. I think Coach, he told me, and a lot of, or some of your other teammates were like, she does things with the volleyball that you've never seen before. And she's very, like, she's able to do a lot, especially being on that front line. So Kayla, what would you say you saw from your teammates throughout the season and watching them grow?
I was going to say I could talk about Ann because I'm a middle too, and she's also a middle. But I remember talking to Dawn. We went on a walk recently, and I was like, there was a point in the season where I was learning more from Ann. Like, she was teaching me things, and I'm a junior and she's a freshman. So I just thought that was so interesting. And like you said, like, we've never had a player like Taylor. She's like off the wall. She's crazy. But I think they just both have so much confidence in themselves, which is very rare for freshmen. And I think that's why they had so much success.
Definitely. And of course, both of them did get NJAC Rookie of the Week honors. And that brings me to my next question. I know you guys kind of say you don't necessarily stat watch, but were weekly awards and end of year awards something that motivated you per se?
I know we all work for each other on the court. We all play as a team and we play for our teammates because we are such a family. We're actually a family out there. Like these girls will forever be my sisters, just built forever. And so, yes, I don't know if we necessarily work for individual awards, but as if someone receives that award, we go crazy. We're so excited for them. We're so happy for them. But that just goes to show how much work we are putting in.
And I think like going off that, like if someone gets like offensive player of the week, I think it means just as much like to the passers and to the setter as it does to them, because it's all coming together and like you're getting the pass for your setter, for your hitter. And so it means as much as all of us as a team, like as an individual award, but I think it also shows us all as a team, like working together.
So now I have a question for both of the setters. There's a lot that goes on after the serve, obviously. And I know Jish and I, looking down, we don't know we don't know the formation necessarily. So can you walk us through some of the formations that you think helps you a little bit more? Whether I know you said you don't stat watch, but you do get a lot of assists based off a certain formation or however it goes. So can you walk us through that?
It all comes from the past. We have a great back row and they do excellent jobs back there. And that's a difficult spot to be. It's definitely a spot I would not want to be in. Those serves, they're coming fast and I would not want to do that. So they work so hard back there, and props to them for doing it all day, every day, working hard. And it all starts with them. The pass all starts with them. And then we work up from there. And then it comes to Gwen and I, and then we set it up, run an offense that we hope that the other team can't defend. And we just keep working from there.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. One thing we've noticed all season, and I think you guys have too, we saw your video for homecoming. Your teammate Amanda DeLeo, usually playing the libero or back setter edition, she always is diving for the ball, putting out great effort for it. Is that like an inside joke with your team?
Yeah, she's pretty much always diving on the floor just because she can. When she gets to a ball, like obviously she won't dive, but if it's a close call, she'll always just be diving all over the place because she wants that ball more than anything.
Definitely. And now on to more of a somewhat fun question. I noticed very early on in the season and just picked up on it a little bit after I told him watch out for this, but the celebrations on the sideline, they were probably one of my favorite things to watch this season, because I would watch for it after I noticed it the first time. And it was like Jish said, it was an absolute blast watching the team play it as a whole. But like, where did those come from? The one celebration is when they hit it out of bounds, you do the little baseball hit.
We actually, in preseason, one of our challenges was to come up with certain cheers. So we had to present it in front of the whole team, and we just had funny ones. We had ones that we had from previous years that we wanted to carry over into the season. And that one was a new one that we came up with. I think we were looking up different cheers at Starbucks one night when we didn't know what to do for the next day. So we were like scrambling, but we found that one and that it stuck. And it was really fun to do. But yeah, it was super fun.
See, everyone at home, everybody does last second cramming in Starbucks.
Heading into ECACs, you go up to Alfred State. You play Alfred State in the first round as well, and you beat them, I believe, 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. And then once again, we talked about it earlier, but you went and played Rutgers Camden again for the third time this season, and you swept them. How did a sweep feel coming into that, Kylie?
It felt good. We went in, we woke up that morning all super excited, all giggly as we always are. And we woke up ready to, as Gwen said, keep that goal of beating teams that we consistently play high. We did not want to let them get a set. We wanted to keep them under a certain score. We knew we could win from the past 2 games. We wanted this game to be the fastest, cleanest, just most consistent game we've played, because we have played them so much. And it's the last game of the season. We wanted to go out on the highest note possible. So that was our mentality going into it, was just stay clean, stay aggressive, and absolutely just ball out.
Kayla, you weren't there for the ECAC championship, but what did seeing your team accomplish that goal mean to you?
It meant everything. I mean, I just like seeing my teammates so bummed after the NJAX. I mean, that was just absolutely brutal for everybody, because like we said, we just put in so much hard work, and then to not get the result that we wanted was painful. But I was just so proud. Like I could feel the energy from them through the screen. So, and it was a really fun game to watch for me. I was sad I couldn't make it, but I was really proud of them.
Of course, and I'd like to just touch on a little bit. Of course, we've kept a correspondence with Coach Perkins throughout the entire season, but we haven't really spoken too much to your assistant coaches, Coach O'Donnell and Coach Lara. Ashley, do you mind telling us a little bit of what exactly they have meant to this team?
They're so much a part of this team. They're basically like my moms. Jenna's so good at Dawn doesn't really yell that much, but Jenna's really good at getting a fire under us if we're down, yelling, like not yelling at us, but like getting us pepped up if we need anything. She's really good about just adjusting. And Audrey, she's off. She just had her first kid, so she's been with her baby. But when she does come, she's the best at being really mechanical and helping us with different steps. If we're doing something wrong in her swing or doing something wrong in her serve, she's really good at helping us with small corrections like that. And I mean, it's like a family. Without them, it's not the same.
So kind of to wrap up, awards went all around towards the end of the season. Kayla, of course, we mentioned All-American. Ashley, you were named to the all-tournament team for ECAC. Kylie, you were absolutely amazing throughout the season with over 800 assists. And, Gwen, she came in and gave some very valuable minutes or sets for the team. So individually, each one of you answered, what does this season mean to you, and moving forward, what is the goal?
I'll go first. This season was, I think, a setup for next year. I think we built those relationships and we built the chemistry with each other. And I think that we're going to pick up where we left off for next year. And I think we have a very, very good chance at taking NJAX. So I'm excited.
I definitely agree with Kayla. Last year with COVID and everything, we didn't really have a full team most of the time. So coming back to this, like normalcy almost, was very refreshing. But we still were very young, and we still were kind of like figuring out like who we were as a team and like what we had to offer. And now that we know what we have to offer and what we can do, next year is just going to be absolutely amazing.
I agree with both of them. Last year, because of COVID, it was not a normal season, and we almost had not a full team. So I don't really know if I can consider that a season. So this is almost my freshman year. So it was just like, it's super exciting to be so young and being like, okay, we have the same team next year. And if this is what we can do this year, like the sky's the limit next year.
I mean, I agree. I think our goal is always to win NJAX, but after being so close this year, I think it's going to be huge next year, seeing everything that we can do, everything we're building off of, taking right off. I mean, everyone kind of has found their roles on the team, knowing like where they fit, what they can do. And I'm just really excited. I think we have a really big chance next year.